Hey there, Trekkers and Trekkies. So, got a little bit different thing we're going to be doing today. This is going to be sort of a two-part video because we're going to do an unboxing and a review of some stuff in this first part of the video. And then the second part of the video is going to be more the putting it together and going about assembling and all that stuff. To explain, let me show you a seller on eBay. So, a while back I was on eBay looking around for diorama type stuff, and I found this seller, 3D Stuff LK, Stuffolk, I'm not sure if that's what they mean, and was browsing through, because they got a lot of cool Star Wars stuff in here, reasonable prices and that kind of thing. They got some full-size dioramas that you can get for your Star Wars figures and other stuff. But they do also have some Star Trek items and Silent Running and Batman. And let's see, I'm trying to remember, they've got quite a bit of stuff. I think that they might have Blade Runner. Oh, there's actually quite a few really cool items here. Some of them real simple. This is like a modern day desktop, kind of like what I've got sitting in front of me. All the way up to, well, this, which we'll get to in a minute. I want to just browse a little bit more. See, we've got a Batman light file cabinets. That could be a modern day thing. Or if you're just going for sort of a future retro kind of vibe, you've got stuff like that cola machine. This robot from oh God, what show was that? I know it was in the 70s. It's somebody's gonna be in the comments. Wasn't Battlestar Galactica. It wasn't Buck Rogers. Oh man, I can't remember which show this character's from. I'm gonna move on. Anyways. So, yeah, they've got a lot of cool stuff. There's another version of that robot. Including full ships. And characters. You can get just a small part of the bar from the cantina. Modern day looking chairs. Is it a trash bin? Here, let me actually go ahead and let me just put in Star Trek as a search. Now, they're selling a full-size Enterprise bridge for 3 3/4 inch for $369. They've got a whole bunch of stuff. They've got stuff for the Mego-sized figures. You can get just Captain Picard's chair on a little base for $20. And anyway, so I got curious and I wanted to get something from them. And see, here's the thing, like this captain's chair, I've actually got two of these. I've got one from Triple Fiction and one from Dazbot that he made ages ago. They're both great. But, you know, I want to be able to kind of compare to Triple Fiction and Dazbot and some of the other people that I've bought from in the past. See what kind of quality we've got. Oh, wow, this is... As we are watching this, this is actually new. Apparently he's doing a shuttlecraft for the 3 3/4 inch. It's going to be $120. That's kind of cool. Shipping's $35. I'd be curious to see if somebody wants to buy that for me. But yeah, and the Enterprise D bridge, that you can get that up, and I think he actually has available for 12 inch. This is the Mego size, the 1/9 scale 8-inch figures. He's got a Quarks bar. If somebody wants to get that for me, I could really use that. And here's another thing. The ops table from Deep Space Nine, I actually have that already from Triple Fiction. And, I mean, I love it. Casey's version is fantastic. So, anyways, and he's going to be making the shuttlecraft in a 6-inch. Oh man, and look here's the Quarks bar with Star Wars figures, which is kind of funny saying Luke Skywalker at Quarks bar. This is actually really good. The colors don't seem quite right, but I can let that pass. I think the shelf in the back is a little tall, because the replicators look like they're at his shoulder level, and they should be a little bit lower. Again, not a big deal. But I know that this is something that Casey over at Triple Fiction's been working on, and I'm forgetting somebody else. Is it Dad? I don't remember who else. May have been Mudez, but sells. It's going to be making the shuttlecraft up to 8-inch. Still no interior look. I'm very curious about that. Well, anyways, so I finally settled on the bridge, because Casey at Triple Fiction a couple of years ago, he made basically this, slightly different, the Enterprise D bridge for the 3 3/4-inch figures, the Galoob figures, for people like me who have the Galoob figure collection but don't have a bridge for them. So I've got like my Commander Riker here. But looking at it, I had this thought. I mean, and the price is fantastic. I mean, down and below, it does talk about how there will be assembly required, which, I mean, obviously, this is the box. It's going to be assembly required. But 3D printed, and they show pictures of it here. So it's pretty easy to figure out how everything's supposed to go together ultimately. But I had an idea. So I've got the Enterprise D, the Playmates one, the big bridge, in full size. And let me switch back to this for a second. I've got a complete version of that, but I actually found in storage last year when we were cleaning that out some of the pieces for the one that I had when I was a kid. Not all of it. I've got like 3 of the doors. I don't have any of the sidewalls or the view screen, but I also had the floor piece. And I was like, I can definitely do something with that. So I stripped out all the electronics, and the podium was already broken. I finished taking it off. And I was like, I wonder if I can get him to sell me everything except for those floor panels. And then I can affix the chairs and everything to my bridge floor. And then I'll have a really cool full-size bridge for my 3 3/4-inch Galoob figures, especially since I've made a couple of customs with it. So I messaged them and I said, hey, can I order this without the floor panels? And they were like, yeah, it would be this much less, which, as you saw a minute ago, let me switch back over there. The price on this is $49.99 plus shipping. So let me, with all that said, I have opened the box just to kind of get a glance in there. So let's take a look and see what we think. Okay. So, everything is the same brown color. Okay. We've got, this is part of the horseshoe. That's the other part. And those two will get... Oh, that's... Okay, it is kind of... It's flimsy. But that can get glued together. And then we've got part of the top panel. So these two pieces obviously go together. And I guess this... Huh. Not real sure where those two pieces would go. We'll figure that out in a minute. This is going to be either the helm or ops chair. Ooh, that does not sit up on its own. Okay, this is going to be a command chair. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead. And we've got Commander Riker here. And... I mean, that's pretty good fit. Let's see what he looks like in... Okay. Oh, we'll bring that down just here. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's grab, here's the captain's chair. Throw him in the captain's chair. Oh, that is a tiny bit... Something just fell below my desk. It's a tiny bit snug on the hips, but he fits in the chair. In fact, that should show you... Well, okay. It did finally pop loose. This is going to be like one of the legs to armatures to hold the chair up. It'll go under here. I'm probably going to take and glue these to the base, but put magnets in here and in the bottom of the chair to hold them in place. As far as the helm and ops chairs, those will probably have to get glued in place. So, okay, let's see. Here is the helm and ops top consoles, and this would be the bottom part of the console. Wait, no, this is a command. There's the other chair. Okay, no, okay. Okay, yeah. No, that lines up. That lines up real well. And again, I'm probably going to do the magnet thing on these. And yeah, see, that's the command pieces. I will probably just paint this section white. And my plan, since I knew it didn't come with stickers, so that was okay. I've got the original Playmates sheet, and I'm going to try and reduce down the size and glue that all together. So this will be the column for holding up the tactical console, and it is exactly how I had thought. So this is the thing, if you get the version that they've made, it means that the tactical console is going to be way too tall. But if I put this on the diorama I have, it should be the right height. So there's the other arms for the chairs. I'm a little confused. So that'll go there. Oh, Okay, I see what this... Let me flip back over to the... Okay, so I was trying to figure out what that weird little piece was. And it's this piece that runs behind the chairs. So this will do like that. Not sure about the angle. Oh, it might be. Oh, look, there's even little things on the back. I should pay attention. And let's see. Hey, that lines up a lot better. So that means it would be like this. And I hope that's communicating on camera. Well, all of this is going to get glued together. I'm a little tempted to just go ahead and glue those pieces together so we can see what they'll look like on the bridge. I will say the quality is good. The print lines are a bit heavy. It's going to be hard for you to see that on there. You could it could be that you call it that's the leather markings on there. But yeah, once you realize on the back there's also a little indicator. So I think I am going to pause for just a second, glue this up, and glue just the tactical horseshoe up, and we'll check that out with the floor panel real quick. Okay, so I got the horseshoe glued together. I'm still going to let it take a little while to dry. But it was actually fairly easy to put together. Now, it is much wider than I was anticipating, which is fine. I kind of just laid the chairs and everything out in place, just resting them against those little peg things, which I'm going to be cutting those off. And we'll figure out where to go with that stuff later on. I have some pretty good ideas, but I'm kind of hoping that I can... Once this is good and dry, hard, that I can push it back here and flex the horseshoe into the existing bow piece. Because having it sit down on the lower level actually puts it at the perfect height for whoever is standing up here. Which is great. I love it. So that's really, I'm gonna. I know that I'm going to take, and in the early seasons, the helm and ops stations were actually on little platforms. So I'm going to take some plastic and cut a little piece in order to glue these pieces on, and then, like I said, I put a magnet there for the console to swing back and forth on. I'm going to do the magnets in the chairs as well before eventually gluing those on. And of course, I need to clean up this base real good, and then I'll have to cover the holes where I'm going to be cutting off those pegs. But that'll be the next video. So I will see you next time. So go out and make something. Like a bridge. Okay, so where are we? I have cut the little pegs off for all the chairs. Remove that little nubbins there. And I took them on the back. I glued a little piece of cardboard so that I could put some filler in to each of these holes and get them flush. And then I spent a load of time sanding everything. I did put little raised, well, I'll show you on the other camera here in a second, bits on here, and this is ready for paint. I've got a couple of pieces of tape down where I want to leave the plastic exposed, because it's easier to get items to glue onto the surface if it's exposed plastic and not paint. The horseshoe tactical station, obviously I cut the bottom part off. It's not needed for what I'm doing. Obviously it would be if you were building the set regularly. And I also took, and well, let me show you. Let's flip back over. So the horseshoe piece here was nowhere near as wide as the one that was made for the set for this set. So what I did was I actually took and I cut these parts back off, and I rotated them in, put some filler in here, and got it to where it kind of matches up. It looks, I think it looks significantly better. And I will go ahead and we're going to glue the horseshoe, and we're going to glue, I told you that I was going to put magnets on everything. See, this is the little arm that holds the captain's chair up. Like that. And I'm not going to paint the chairs, but I am here in just a minute. We're going to glue the little armatures in place for all three chairs, which will go something like that. I've got tape down for where the two side consoles will sit, and of course these aren't going to sit without being glued, but I did put magnets on the undersides of those. Those are, oh, I'll pick that up in a minute. These are really good so that they can twist out. So obviously that one will go there, down there. And then the chairs, those will also have to get glued down. And I put a little piece of tape. You can barely see, I just realized those will be down here. These chairs, of course, won't swivel. They weren't built to have a swivel in them. I kind of a little disappointed by that, but it's okay. Because I would have taken, and no, I'm not going to do that. I was thinking I could always go back and cut this bottom part off, do a whole magnet thing, but not going to worry about that. I do have, so I'm not going to be trying to make the walls all the way around. I do plan on trying to make a new version of the tactical station. That it'll have to be shorter. I'll make the stickers for it and all that. I do have one of the sliding doors, which still probably need to throw a little bit of WD-40 on there. That still works fine. And I've got one of the solitary doors, and that'll be up here on the captain's door right about here. And so I will need to make the wall that goes between the two doors there as well. Not going to worry about a view screen. Not going to worry about the doors on this side. I just want to have sort of a, well, it's basically about half. About half the walls will be there, so that then people can look at it from this angle and check it out and put the little figures, put the 3.5 inch figures on there. It'll be real cool. So we're gonna glue up the pieces that I talked about. Not these, just the horseshoe and the arms for the chairs. Everything else will get glued after paint. So let me jump into that. Okay, so sorry I had to focus to get the two little side piece things here to stick on the floor, and I might need to put a little gap filler on those. But got the chairs; those look fantastic when they're sitting in place. And if you're wondering why I had the chopstick, I was using that as a spacer underneath the chairs, because if you watch on the show, if you look on the show, the arms for the chairs are actually coming from the back wall, kind of like that. There, you can kind of see that with the one for the captain's chair. And so I wanted to emulate that, so I put that little gap under there to do that. But next part, like I said, I'm going to put some gap filler on these, and then I'm going to paint it. And then we'll be working on the back and that wall right there. So, I am finished with the putting together of that bridge. In case you're wondering, wow, you look radically different. That's because almost a year has passed since what you just watched was recorded. That all was recorded literally just before the hurricane this last summer. And it has taken me, that was what, July? So 8.5 months to finally get around to finishing recording this. Finishing putting together and everything. So sorry about that, but check this out. Here it is, the finished bridge, and I'm going to show pictures of it here in just a minute, so you can get a better look at it. With I put figures all over it and everything, but yeah, this has turned out really cool, especially using the base for the Playmates bridge. It worked out really good. The height on the tactical station is perfect, as far as having, gluing it down back here and the way that the levels are there. But yeah, I mean, and the seats are great for the scale of these figures. It has turned out really, really nicely. And this is going to be a good display piece for my Galoob figures. Finally, I've not ever had a way to display them. One minor quibble with them is on the helm. Let me see if I can back it up just a little bit. I did put magnets on the underpiece here and on the top there so that they can swivel. But the one issue being that if you do this and then put it into place, you kind of have to lift it up over their knees. It's the side piece here. It's not quite tall enough for them to sit with it correctly. But hey, I can live with that looking slightly off in order to have a way to display my Galoob figures. So that's, big advantage there. So there it is. Only took 9 months to record this video. And that's a lot of things in my life. It takes a while to get around to it. But yeah, I'm going to show, like I said, I'm going to post some photos at the end of the video so you can see more of what this looks like. And I hope you enjoyed this look. And if you're interested, you should go and check out the seller on eBay. I don't know if they're on like Etsy or anything else. I'll have to check. I'll make sure and post a link down below. Of course, with the tariffs situation coming up, I don't know what that's going to do for this particular seller because I know that they are outside of the United States. So, fingers crossed. I don't know. Normally I would say go make something at the end of this video, but I don't know if I should say that about this because that might actually be something you can't do. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this. And you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time. Go out and make something. If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell icon. If you want to support me, you can find me on Patreon, or go over to Zazzle for prints of my artwork, t-shirts, and other cool stuff. If you're still here, why? Do you want to jam out?